Sieving is the nonal in Tagalog, only Ilocano knows, and mole in English. Sieving yun. Well, anyways, sieving is done by using a device to separate different sizes of materials. The material is subjected to the mechanical force of horizontal and vertical movement with the help of container of mesh or perforated bottom through which the material is shaken or poured. In the day-to-day life, there are times where we need to separate a very important substance from a mixture. This is done by using various of method, of which one of them is sieving. Example of sieving in everyday life is strainer, which separates solid from liquid materials. Another one is tea filter, which separates the tea leaves in the water. And another is pepper grinder and shaker. There are two types of sieving, the dry sieving and the wet sieving. Dry sieving involves shaking usually air-dried soil on top of a nest of sieves. Dry sieving maintains large soil aggregate sizes 2 mm but is usually limited to the size fraction 250 micrometer. While on the other hand, wet sieving can separate soil aggregates from various size classes and in particular smaller sizes.
We can see we have oil and water in separated container. Next, she poured the water in a glass of oil. As we can see, the oil stay on top of the water. She stirred the mixture, but the oil still stay on top of the water. The next thing that she do is pour the mixture in another glass. So the oil transferred to another glass. The water remain on the one container and it's called residue. This process is called decantation. Decantation is a process of separation of liquid from another solid and another immiscible or non-mixing liquid.
Filtration. Filtration is a physical, biological, and chemical operation that separates solid matter and fluid from a mixture with a filter medium that has a complex structure which only fluids can pass. Particle size may vary considerably given the type of the mixture. For an instance, stream water is a mixture that contains natural occurring biological organisms like bacteria, viruses, and protozoans. Other mixtures, like soil, have relatively large particle sizes, which can be filtered through something like coffee filters. For example, is a homemade water filter using plastic bottles, cotton or small clothes, activated charcoal, baking small stones, and clean sand or soil. As what you can see in the video, the dirty water became clear as it passes through the different layers. Each layer of the homemade water filter has a purpose. The stones are used to filter out large sediments like leaves and insects, whereas sand is used to remove fine impurities. Finally, the activated charcoal removes contaminants and impurities through the chemical absorption.
Evaporation is a process in which water changes from the liquid state to a gaseous state. Evaporation happens when the liquid turns into gas. The process begins when the molecule of liquid get energy in the form of heat. They then turn into a vapor after this gaining of energy. When you saw or watch the video, the first thing we need is salt, water, and heat. And the heat is coming from the gas stove. When you notice, the salt is separated from the water and the water is evaporated into gas and the salt still remains. And evaporation is the process of separating mixture involve heat until the solvents evaporate, turn into gas, leaving behind the solid residue, like what happened the salt and the water. And this is what we call the process of evaporation.
So, the video shows that the technique or kind of physical means of separating mixtures he used is the magnetic separation or using a magnet. So first, what is magnetic separation? Magnetic separation is a form of separating mixtures which involves using a magnet to attract the magnetic object away from the substance it is in. So, in the example shown, he used the bolt and nut and the sun and the magnet. He used the magnet to separate the bolt and nut away from the sun.